And women wonder why you hit them. I am not a fan of spousal abuse, but this would be one of those situations where I have to turn a blind eye.
How?
What it is, guys? Nice boy Blasphemous HD on the mic. I guess my intro is a bit powerful.
So this is the part and point in the video where I talk about the improvement. However, with Maurice Barnett, there is no improvement. And I really can't even say there's an improvement with mic quality, because as soon as it sounds decently okay like this,
What it is, guys? It's your boy Blasphemous HD.
it will revert to,
Guys, it's your boy Blasphemous HD.
Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Blasphemous HD here, and today I'm going to be giving away an epic anime pass to the first person who can figure out which World War II radio mic I'm speaking out of.
you see my point? But to be fair, Blasphemous HD does hire people to make his illustrations for him, so it would make sense why the art does not improve.
And I look to the spot where if there's sparks on the wall, this should be the trajectory of where it's coming from.
This is a good example of lazy illustration, or as Maurice Barnett would call it, animation. The reason why it's a good example of lazy illustration is simply because the illustrators or animators were focusing more on Maurice's face than what Maurice was actually explaining in the story. Now, I am mostly blaming the illustrators for doing this, however this could be also completely Maurice's fault for not directing them correctly. Also, on a little personal note, I had actually seen this story before it got illustrated, and when I saw it got illustrated, I was particularly excited because of this one scene that was kind of hard to imagine. But then I just got a shot of Maurice's face, so that was kind of a letdown, to be honest. Moving on.
I do. Don't do neither one of them. Don't do as I do and don't do as I say to do.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the f is that? What is that?
Now, any way you put it, it's somehow going to be a little bit of Maurice's fault. There are two scenarios that I'm pretty sure is what's going on. A, Maurice is paying them cheaply, so they give him cheap art, or B, Maurice is paying them a fair price, and they're giving him cheap art. In the Maurice is paying them cheaply, I mean, that's fine, that's understandable, so they give him cheap art. So that's understandable, but you could, Maurice, that is, you could also go into the image and fix some of the problems with this image that are very obvious to the human eye. In the scenario that he is paying them fairly and they're just giving him cheap art, it's still partly his fault for not sending it back or not fixing it himself, like again in the first scenario. Either way, Maurice could easily just fix the art. But like, come on, man, this is supposed to be like a reusable asset, and reusable assets are supposed to be like basically perfect. And you let this slide? Are you kidding me?
Shut the f up, nigga. You ain't got no job, no rent. Cat jerks.
Now guys, if you didn't know, Maurice Barnett has another channel called Blasphemous HD Gaming and a few others with Blasphemous HD, and that's why I keep referencing him as Blasphemous HD. Pretty obvious why I keep doing that. But on Blasphemous HD Gaming, he had a Storytime series that, well, I kind of liked it, in my personal opinion, and I had pretty much heard, like, every story. I don't think I've heard them all, but, like, pretty much all of it. And when I saw that he was gonna have, like, one of these, you know, stories illustrated, I always thought they were gonna be new and stuff, like, oh, boy, I'm gonna see some new stories, ones that I haven't quite heard yet. But there was a few that were pretty recognizable, and, you know, I checked out the stories that I thought were very similar. Not only were they very similar, the audio was straight up ripped from the video and then had illustrations slapped onto it. Now, you probably thought when I said re-uploading stories, you probably thought he retold the story. No, he re-uploaded the story, but it's illustrated now. Here's an example.
Hey, what's up, guys? Your boy Blasphemous HD on the mic. Hey, what's up, guys? Your boy Blasphemous HD on the mic. Today I got a bit of a treat for you guys. Now, due to you guys' overwhelmingly large amount of requests, I've just now started playing scary games for you guys, and I get far more scared than most people do. Today I got a bit of a treat for you guys. Now, due to you guys' overwhelmingly large amount of requests, I've just now started playing scary games for you guys, and I get far more scared than most people do.
You know, since I'm a nice guy, I will give 2 exceptions for re-uploading audio. 1. The audio must be clean, meaning things like gameplay audio or different music cannot be in the recording. 2. The mic should not be downgraded, meaning the mic quality should be the same if not better than usual. And now the big question, does Maurice fall under these exceptions?
Of the 3 times I would ever go into that, of the 3 times I would ever go into that.
No, you can hear gameplay audio and music from the original video. Both can be heard. So Maurice, let me give you a little advice. Don't re-upload the audio, re-upload the story, meaning re-record it.
Smashing someone's mom is probably the worst thing you can do to bring you closer together as friends. Especially if you do a good job at it. Because now she's yours.
The thing that makes Maurice underrated and separates him from the rest of the competition is that he's entertaining and funny.
Alright, so I was raped. And the worst part is she wasn't even cute. Oh.
This pretty much is the only pro I can say about Maurice, which is fine because that's what he's aiming for. And also this pro outweighs the cons. And besides, each YouTuber has their pros and cons, and well, a few are just all con. A few. And if you at least don't think he's funny, you at least gotta admit he's entertaining. You're not really gonna be bored watching him.
That's what they like. You gotta motorboat it. We're gonna edit that out.
Art gets a 4.1 out of 10. We've been over this already. Animation gets a 2 out of 10. There's little to no animation, and most of the animation, if not all of it's lip sync. Comedy
Pick me up by my nigga. Bruh.
gets a 8.5 out of 10, but I'm biased and I have poor taste in humor overall, so it'd probably get a 7 out of 10, but I'm still sticking to my 8.5 out of 10. Entertainment, 9 out of 10. Comedy is a pretty big influence over entertainment. Channel score is a 9 out of 10. Which is what the score would have been if animation or art got a score above 5 out of 10. So I'm giving it an 8.3 out of 10. Bye. Also, Marmar, if you're reacting to this, you're welcome for the free content. And here are some clips that are edited and taken out of context from Maurice's reaction channel.
I hit women. Smashing someone's mom is probably the worst thing you can do to bring you closer together as friends. Especially if you do a good job at it. Because now she's yours. I hit cat jerks. We're going to edit that out.